This afternoon, I actually went to the post office and received a mail at the post office, and one of the cards that is in the envelope says, "God has great plans for you." So when I saw that, I was really touched by it. I so much cherish it. I love it because it reminds me of God's plan for me. And I want to share with you, at this moment, that God has plans for his own children. And even those who are not yet his own children. What I mean is that those who have not yet recognized that his redemption work in his son, those who have not received his work of atonement in his son, God still has plans for them. But for those who are God's children, now this is what the Lord says to us in Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you. This is the declaration of the Lord. Plans for your well-being, not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. Now, this was a statement that was made through prophet of Jeremiah, the prophet of God, to his own chosen people, Israel, who were in captivity. It was a moment of hopelessness. It was a moment of pain. It was a moment of captivity because there was no freedom. They don't have any freedom. And so, it was a time of just being worried, a time of anxiety. It was a time of lament. It was a time of not just feeling very comfortable because they are in a strange land. In fact, just even like, the psalmist would say, by the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down and there we wept. So you see the idea? It was a place of weeping because it was literally like they have lost almost everything. So it was at that time that, there were prophecies that were made about their deliverance from, from captivity. And then God gave this message to Prophet Jeremiah to reach out to them and to let them know that you are my own children. I got your back. That even in captivity, I am right there with you and I know what I'm doing. I've not forsaken you. I've not forgotten about you. I have good plans for you. And these good plans is for your well-being and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. Now, yeah, there's an ultimate plan that is expressed in this place, but there's also an immediate plan. It was God's desire for them to be set free in a physical sense. And it is God's desire, of course, for his own children to be set free completely and ultimately. And that time is going to come because that's what Philippians chapter 1, verse 6 or 7, verse 6, I believe, says to us that God is going to perfect his own plan of salvation in the life of his chosen people. Okay? And so, yes, God has plans. So you might be that person that's kind of worried because of the situation you find yourself, but you believe in Jesus. You believe in what God has done for you to redeem you from your sin and from death. And yet, here you are under oppression. Here you are in captivity. Here you are, going through pain and just imagining if there is hope. God has plans for you. And that's why I appreciate this mail when I receive it, just telling me that, truly God has great plans for me. So his plans is that even in the midst of what you're going through right now, he would show up and stand with you. And not only that, be sure that your salvation is certain. that God is going to rescue you. There's going to be a time that he would set you completely free from your oppressors. So would you trust him right now? Trust him that even in the midst of that, God is able to grant you victory. Yes, he's able to grant you victory. I am telling you, in the words of Agur in Job chapter 30, I mean, it talks about that all you need to do is to run and find refuge in God. He is your fortress. Now, for those who do not believe in God's work in his son for the salvation of their souls, I mean, God still has plans for you, and that plan is revealed in what he has done in his son. Only if you believe that this is a great plan that God has done for you, he would set you free. I mean, look at it. That if you don't believe in what God, through his son Jesus Christ, had done for you, or has done for you, would you prefer to suffer here and still have an eternal suffering? Or would you prefer to even gain the world and lose your soul? Like, Jesus will say, what does it mean when you gain the whole world and then you lose your own soul? It means nothing. Would you trust God and what he has done for you in his son Jesus Christ today? I would love to see you take a bold step and trust him even right now. God bless you as you make a decision that has eternal impact.